Such is my love, to thee I so belong, that for thy right myself will bear all wrong. These words from Sonnet 88 of Shakespeare explain a little bit what we feel when we fall in love. Love, in all its dimensions, can be understood from different points of view. However, most people wonder, how can you control and even rationalize love to avoid unhealthy relationship? Have you ever said to yourself, I'm in a bad relationship, but I can't live without him or her? Well, love is a strong feeling, and most of us have experienced pain and frustration due to love. I have done some extensive research to explain this subject to you. The purpose of this speech is to tell you about the difference between love and dependency and how can you overcome the latter. Most of us have experienced at some point in their lives what is a romantic relationship. Loving a person can be a remarkable experience. However, if you are not careful, it can cause a lot of damage. Today, I would like to talk to you about the science of love, the difference between love and dependency, and how can you overcome an unhealthy relationship. First, let me tell you a little bit about the science of love. According to Helen Fisher, a research professor in the Department of Anthropology in the Rutgers University, when you fall in love, you go through 3 stages: lust, attraction, and attachment. In each stage, there are several hormones that vary their level and that affect the person. In the first stage, the hormones that affect the person are estrogen and testosterone. In the second stage, which is attraction, the most important hormones are adrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin. And in the final stage, which is attachment, this stage is the stage where you stay with the person to raise your children. The 2 most important hormones that affect the person are oxytocin and vasopressin. The levels of these hormones determine how you feel and how you fall in love. Once you have understood the science of love, you need to know the difference between love and dependency. When you fall in love or when you love a person, this can be a really fulfilling experience. However, some people become addicted to loving, and this is a real dangerous place where you can be. How can you tell the difference? Well, you need to understand what are the 3 characteristics of an addiction. First, there is an obsession and preoccupation. Second, there is a feeling of being out of control. And third, there is a continuation despite any negative feelings and consequences. This can be psychologically or physically. But you stay there. You continue with the relationship in spite of that. If you suffer any of the 3 characteristics, you are probably suffering from an emotional dependency. Once you have identified that you are in an unhealthy relationship due to an emotional dependency, you can overcome the situation. How can you do that? First, most of us have to treat ourselves to avoid that our wounds attract people who is wounded. And there are some things that you can do to avoid or to overcome this dependency. First, take care and pay attention to the inner signals. Pay attention of how you feel. Second, keep your space. You have to keep doing your hobbies, keep doing the things you like. And third, and most importantly, be careful how you handle conflict. If you become a person who is too anxious or is too aggressive, you are probably suffering from an emotional dependency. In conclusion, I would like to remind you that the purpose of this speech was to tell you about the difference between love and dependency and how can you overcome an emotional dependency. I informed the science of love, I told you what's the difference between love and dependency, and I told you how can you overcome the latter. Again, I prepare a lot for this speech. Remember that the relationships can be a rewarding experience if you remember to treat yourself and to be independent. Walter Rizzo, an Italian doctor specialized in connected therapy, says, "To love does not mean to suffer. You have the right to have a healthy relationship. Thank you.